Good evening and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you, folks, for joining us here on DinamoTV. It's episode 54, in fact, our 16th episode this year. And my name is Taunchi Prusat. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you here tonight. Tonight is a special episode because the football world here in Australia is celebrating Female Football Week, and we at Dinamo, we'd like to think that we celebrate it all the year, but this week in particular, is very special, and we're certainly going to, tonight's show, we're going to pay special tribute to all the female footballers, the coaches, the volunteers, the officials, the administrators, the mums, the supporters, everyone that makes our great club absolutely great. And tonight, as part of our Female Football Week celebrations, we will be talking to Tom Pondaljak, who obviously is not female, but he's the coach of our senior women's football team. And they had a great win on the weekend. Their first game of the season. They got a big game this Friday. We'll also catch up with Sienna Delia, who scored a hat-trick in that game, a 4-2 win over Sydenham Park. And also our special guest a little bit later on in the show will be one of the co-captains of the senior women's team, someone who's been on the show before and someone we love having on DinamoTV, Jana Cholina. She'll be talking a little bit about her involvement at the club, and it's not just restricted to the senior women's. She's also quite heavily involved with the club's juniors as well. We got lots to get through tonight, folks, so stay tuned with us as we, spend the next 60 or so minutes together on tonight's episode of DinamoTV.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Well, I'm not too sure what's happening there, but we seem to be having a little bit of a jumpy internet connection tonight. On news desk time, and let's take a trip down memory lane. Yes, it's not really our club, but it is our sister club, and certainly a club that has been a big part of our lives over the years. On this day 30 years ago, Melbourne Knights, or Melbourne Croatia, became the NSL champions of Australia for the first time on the 7th of May. 1995 at Highmarsh Stadium in Adelaide after beating Adelaide City Juventus 2-0 in the 94-95 National Soccer League Grand Final. The goal scorers for Melbourne Croatia that day were club captain Andrew Marth and Joe Spiteri. After three previous NSL Grand Final attempts in 91, 92 and 94, the Knights finally became champions of Australia after consistently being the dominant team of Australian football in the 1990s. This victory was enjoyed by the travelling Melbourne Croatia fans and by Croatians around Australia and the world at a time when Croatia as the nation was fighting for its independence and freedom. This was the culmination of nearly 5 decades of struggle which intertwined with the club's history, founded in 1953. Thank you to Facebook page Forever Croatia for posting this post on their page earlier today. Now, 3 decades ago, from their famous NSL Grand Final triumph, Melbourne Knights FC Championship heroes Ante Kovacevic, former St Albans boy, Vinko Buljubasic, Steve Horvath, Andrew Marth and Joe Spiteri reunited to relive the Knights' 94-95 victory over arch rivals Adelaide City in a special video feature which was produced by the Hrvatski Vjesnik Croatian Herald. Here's a little trailer from that.
Can I say something on TV? For the fans back in Melbourne at the Crowbar tonight, all the players will be there, and next weekend at Melbourne Knights Stadium, big disco.
Those days were exceptional.
Incredible memories, incredible day.
It was just unbelievable. You know, I was pinching myself to make sure it was real.
One of the proudest moments of my life.
Yes, that was a fantastic video produced by the Croatian Herald team, and you can see it on their YouTube channel or on their Facebook page as well, or go to vjesnik.com.au. Okay, turning attention now to matters a little bit more in the present day. Last Saturday, in fact, the Dinamo came up against Dandenong Thunder in the NPL competition. And we'll have a look at the results now. 2-2, Dandenong Thunder and Dinamo. And there are the other results there as well. Good win to Dandenong City over Melbourne Knights in the Croatian derby, but it did cost Knights coach Ivan Franjic his job. He tendered his resignation, which was accepted by the Knights board. And Dandenong City now jumps up to 7th position. They're 4 points outside the top 6. We remain in 10th position, just above the Knights, just 2 points ahead. But we're precariously close to the drop zone. We're only 2 points away from the drop zone at the moment, and that is quite close. All right, it's time to relive some of those highlights from the weekend just gone by. Your commentator is Ethan Rigg.
Taylor, Wade Decker, Daniel Clark, Jay Romanovsky, Hassan Jallo, Ties van Amerongen and Ben Jeeba all retain their places in the starting 11. For St Albans, 2 changes to the starting lineup. Brian Summerskill returns, as does Oliver Dragicevic. It is another Thunder corner. Mehmeti stands it towards Alessi at the back post. It's cleared only as far as Decker, who fires in the opener. Had a moment merely minutes ago. Couldn't get it beyond Yoshida. Taylor hooked it anywhere. Jallo looking to give chase. That was worked out well by McFarlane. So much composure showcased to find Kalina when he could have just thumped it clear. Dragicevic. Burns, that's a gorgeous switch. St Albans trying to make it work. Drilled back across the area. Not once but twice. There's a Thunder body in the way. And it is turned in for an equaliser. St Albans against the script. Through Burns have found themselves, both understanding how important the deadlock breaker would be. As Grigic cut out Mehmeti's ball for Aquin. Van Amerongen. Alessi. Rolls it back for Young. Options left and right. Search for Yoshida, who did wonderfully in the end. Aquin came away with it. Rolled it back for Yoshida, who danced his way beyond to Yoshida. That is a wonderful goal. Yuki Yoshida with a stunner. Evelyn and they will now make that change. Grigic makes way for Zidias. St Albans with a set piece. Gillespie and Burns stood over it. It is Gillespie's free kick. That is a perler. if it were to count. Taylor. Clark's gone down the line. Yoshina's at the back post. Jeeba's gone with him. It is Clark. Jackson got a tip. And that will be that. Absolute shock on both ends.
Well, there you have it. Two phenomenal goals by DinamoTV in round 12 action. Lucas Burns getting that first one and Josh Golevsky getting that second one. 5 goals for Josh Golevsky this season, and Lucas Burns has now scored 4 goals. Those two are the leading goal scorers as we see the rest of the results there. Port Melbourne and Altona Magic 3-all. And there's news today that tonight John Markovski has handed in his resignation at Port Melbourne. So Franic at Knights and Markovski at Port Melbourne, 2 of the coaching casualties already this week. We're looking at next week's fixtures. And coming up this Saturday night, a tough game against Hume City. That's at their ground, which is called Naziol Stadium. And Hume City are currently in 6th position. We could do our sister club, Dandenong City, a huge favour if we can beat Hume City. Dandenong City at home to Melbourne, victory on Friday night. The other games, Green Gully at home to Avondale, Heidelberg at home to Port Melbourne, Dandenong Thunder playing host to Preston Lions. Altona Magic and Melbourne Knights do battle at Paisley Park in a must-win game for our sister club, let's face it. We take on Hume City Saturday night with kickoff at 7 p.m. The under-23s kicking off at 4:30. The under-19s kicking off at 2 o'clock. And in the Greek derby, South Melbourne playing host to Oakley Cannons on Sunday afternoon. Now, speaking of the under-23s, let's go for a wrap-up of all the teams that played on the weekend. 23s had a massive 7-3 win over Dandenong Thunder. Well done to the under-23s. 6 different goal scorers. Giacomo Luna scored a double, but Alex Maglaris, Jacob Di Fiore, Nicholas De Bono, Nicholas Mori, and Alex Chepiviroski, they were the goal scorers for the 23s. Tuna's team doing very, very well there. The under-19s also had a good win, 2-0 over Dandenong Thunder. It was an own goal and Joshua Angelis scoring for the under-23s. We'll talk about the senior women. We'll actually talk about the senior women now. Good 4-2 win over Sydenham Park. Sienna Delia scoring 3 goals. Sasha Majdanjic scoring 1 goal. And it was a great victory there by our women. After the game, our resident DinamoTV reporter Nick Delia caught up with Tom Pondelyak, firstly the coach of the senior women's team, and then he had a little bit of a chat to Sienna Delia, very close to home there, who scored the 3 goals. This is what they had to say.
Tommy, congratulations on the win, the opening game, mate. You were happy with that result?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, first game of the season for the girls. Got off to a great start. I spoke to the girls before the game just to make sure that we really get on the front foot from the first whistle, because I was a little bit worried about our fitness levels, so to speak, because we missed out last week, obviously having the bye. So just told the girls just from the first whistle just to go out there and hit them hard, and to their credit they did. We scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes or so. So got off to a flyer. They got one back, held off to half-time 2-1, but then came out in the second half again and started off where we left off, and girls really brought it home in the end there. Obviously, a 4-2 result away from home against probably a rival title contender, so to speak. So very happy, very pleased, and yeah, I mean, on top of the result, just obviously just knowing that a bit more left in the tank to come.
Yeah, you seemed to make some changes towards the end of that game. Was that tactical or injuries, or?
Yeah, it was a bit more of a tactical change. We knew that their main danger was up front. Their striker, she's quite clever, quite tricky, and she's got a bit of speed about her. So just swapped Isabel and Christina around, just to have a little bit more pace at the back. And yeah, I think it really worked well for us, because a few times their striker got through in situations, and Izzy was able to stay with her and obviously to hold her up and on a few occasions just to win the ball back off her. So I think it worked well.
And big first home game, for the season this week against Uni Hills. They look to be scoring a few goals.
Yeah, look, from the results, they're obviously scoring a fair few goals. So yeah, look, we've got to be mindful. I don't know really anything about them. They've come up from State 3, and like you said, they've got some good results with a lot of goals. So I'm expecting a tough game, no different to Sydenham. So I'll make sure that the girls know about it. And yeah, definitely we'll be up for the challenge. Obviously, first game at home for the season. So hopefully we get a good turnout and we can continue where we left off at Sydenham and hopefully get the 3 points.
Best of luck next week, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, bud. Sienna, great start to the season. Was the team happy with how they played?
Yeah, we're really happy with the result. Taking 3 points home at an away game for our first game is really good, and everyone was really happy with how we all played. And I'm pretty sure we made all our coaches proud.
Congratulations on the hat-trick. You must be particularly happy with scoring 2 quick goals in the first 10 minutes.
Yes, that was a good feeling. Haven't really got the match fitness I ended last year with, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with scoring the first 2 goals.
And you went down with a few minutes to go. Is that an injury that Tommy should be worried about?
No, I just got a cramp. I'll be alright for this next game.
Oh, terrific. Good luck.
There you go, Sienna Delia, who happens to be Nick's daughter. She did very well, and so too did he. As we mentioned, or as was mentioned in the where was it? It was mentioned in the there's a couple of the fixtures there, good photos there. As was mentioned in the interview with Tommy, that's the fixture coming up this Friday night. So round 3 in the Women's State League 2 Northwest Division. Dinamo taking on Uni Hills Eagles at home on pitch 2. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. Important game, and at the moment, Uni Hills has a goal difference of 13 goals for, 0 goals against from their opening 2 matches. They defeated Williamstown last week 4-0. Sydenham defeated Williamstown 4-1 on the opening day. And obviously we defeated Sydenham 4-2. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do go against the Uni Hill Eagles, who are indeed going to be a formidable opponent. Back to the JB NPL, if we go to the wrap-up, so the Junior Boys NPL, it was round 1 of the opening season, or the first round of the season proper in JB NPL Division 2. In the 14s, we lost 1-3 against Altona Magic. In the 15s, it was a 2-2 draw. The 16s, it was a 1-7 loss to the Brimbank Stallions. And in the 17s, the only team to record a win, it was a very convincing 5-1 win over Brimbank. And courtesy of a Daniel Reiher hat-trick. So well done to the youngster there. Turning our attention to this weekend's fixtures, all the games will be against Ballarat City, and all those games will be at home. The 14s will be kicking off at 9:30, the 15s at 11:10, 16s at 1 o'clock, followed by the 17s at 3 p.m. Upcoming social events. Well, tomorrow is the Mother's Day buffet night at Dinamo from 7 p.m. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much a sellout, 160 plus, maybe even more tickets sold. But there may be some last minute spots available. It starts at 7 p.m. Cost of tickets are adults $35, kids under the age of 16, 20. And if you're under 10, well, you'll get in for $15. Message Anna on 0401 505 100 to book. Bookings are essential, so if you haven't got your tickets, do contact Anna tonight. Very important to do so. The memorabilia, yes, that's happening very shortly as well, and that's going to happen on Sunday, the 18th of May, ahead of our big Croatian derby game against Dandenong City from 12 p.m. in our club rooms. And so if you do have any photos, jerseys, any nostalgic items, merchandise, anything like that that could be used, that could be borrowed and scanned for our St Albans Dynamo 50th anniversary book. It can be done right there on the spot, so you don't need to kind of part with your treasured possessions. That's happening, as we said, Sunday, the 18th of May. Well, we've had a baby boom here at Dynamo, and with two of our very, very prominent coaches becoming dads. Firstly, massive congratulations to Cameron Watson, our senior men's team coach, and his wife Katya on the arrival of their baby boy Xavier. It is his second son, second child as well. And Nikola Markovsky on our under 17 junior boys NPL head coach. Well, he and his wife Nikolina welcomed this week their daughter Milena. What a beautiful name. Congratulations to Nico and congratulations to Cam on becoming dads. In Cam's case, a dad for a second time. And it's great to see. On that very, very positive note, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we do return, we've got our very, very special guest for tonight. She's the co-captain of our senior women's team, Jana Cholina. Stay tuned for that, folks. You are watching DinamoTV. We seem to be having a little bit of a problem at the moment. We're going to try and rectify that if we can. For whatever reason, that's just not happening. This week we've got. Just bear with me, folks, as I try and find what the problem seems to be. And welcome back to DinamoTV, and it's time now for tonight's special guest, and it's part of Female Football Week here at Dynamo. We're celebrating it in a big way, and someone else who's celebrating Female Football Week, but not just Female Football Week. Their first win of the season in their first game was the senior women's team, and last weekend's 4-2 win over Sydenham Park was a great start to what we hope is going to be a big and fantastic season for our senior women's. And to tell us all about last week and also this weekend's big game is the co-captain who joins us, Jana Cholina. Jana, good evening and welcome back to DinamoTV. It's great to have you back.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm well. Yes, it was a great win last week, a fantastic win. 4-2 over Sydenham Park. Tell us a little bit about it as we show some photos of the game from last week.
Yeah, look, it was a good game. Obviously, first game back for the season, so definitely floating around the squad. A little bit rusty, but look, at the end of the day, we got those 3 points, and that's all that matters. We obviously we got 2 goals quite early on in the game, which was really, really good. Then we sort of slowed down a little bit. But I think that was just because we were a little bit nervous, not necessarily got any much match fitness just yet, being the first game back. But it was a good start, and you can't complain if you walk away with 3 points.
Yeah, and that's something that I was speaking to our coach Tom Pondelia just prior to the show yesterday, in fact. And that's what he said. He said it was kind of a bit rusty, obviously to be expected first game back. But, if rusty means winning 4-2, I'll take that anytime, that's for sure. That's a great thing to be. Sienna Delia, hat-tricks, scored a hat-trick. She's on fire. Hopefully she can continue this form into the season.
Yeah, we hope so. You know what? She's doing really, really good. Obviously, only first game back, but to bag 3 goals, you know you can't do better than that. So really good.
Yeah. And what about some of the newer players as well? We had, was it Steph Majdanjic scoring the other goal as well? So she's a new player.
Sasha. Her
Sasha,
name-
sorry, not Steph. Yeah.
no, that's okay. Yeah. So she played with us she grew up playing at Dinamo, but for the last 2 years she was sort of just doing her own thing. She got injured as well, but back and like she's never left. So yeah, great addition to the team this year.
Yeah, no, excellent. It's great to see, as I said, a good start first up. And now we turn our attention, I guess, to this week's game. And this one's going to be a really tough one because we don't know too much about Uni Hills. But look, they've started really, really well at the moment. 2 wins from their opening 2 games and a goal difference of 13-4-0 against. Now, they got promoted from Division 3 last year and the undefeated. Do we know much about the Uni Hills Eagles?
You know what? We don't. Like you said, they've come now from State League 3, so we haven't played them ever before. But that's sort of like a lot of teams in our league this year. They're all new. We've only got a couple that have stayed back in State League 2, so it will be an interesting year. And we're expecting a tough game on Friday. We know it's a really important one, so yeah, we're ready to go for that for sure.
Yeah. I guess if we're going to look at any kind of form, I suppose Uni Hills Eagles defeated Williamstown 4-0 on the weekend. And in the first round, Sydenham Park defeated Williamstown 4-1, and you defeated Sydenham Park. So, judging by form, we should defeat Uni Hills Eagles by at least 3 goals, if not more. But that would be the ideal. That game being played this Friday night on Pitch 2, Churchill Reserve. Kickoff at 8 p.m. under lights. So we asking all Dinamo fans, young or old, to turn up on Friday night, Churchill Reserve. Excited about the season opener. Well, when I say season opener at home this Friday night.
Yeah, of course. It'd be so good to get back a game here at home. So we really want to see as many people that can come and support us. As much as it makes the girls a lot more nervous. It is so exciting when you've got people cheering you on the sideline.
I was going to ask about that. Like going on last season, for example, was it easier to play at home in front of people friends and family and supporters, or is it? Do you feel that pressure and it really sort of makes it tougher and it's easier to play sometimes away from home where the pressure's less?
For sure, if it's easier to play away, but you feel the most comfortable at home, and as soon as that whistle goes and it's kickoff, the nerves go away. So it's perfectly fine, and it's so exciting getting a goal or 2 with people, all our Dinamo fans watching. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, Yana, you're quite well, I guess, experienced with being in the spotlight, and your family's forever been involved at the club. So I guess for you, you're an old hand at it. What about some of the younger ones, the more inexperienced ones? When they get nervous, do people like yourself and maybe Emily Grgic, the co-captain, do you sort of step up and take them under your wing on the park, that is, and try and just to calm them down, calm the nerves down, or do you just kind of let them be and sort of throw them in at the deep end and let them find out for themselves?
We've all been in that position before, whether it was, last year or years before. So the girls are so supportive of our younger girls because it's tough coming into a senior team. It's really different from juniors.
Yeah.
More competitive. So, those are your teammates at the end of the day. You take them under your wing and you help and support them. And, they're obviously going to be really nervous. So you need to give them a chance at the end of the day. It's hard. If I think about how nervous I am and how long I've been playing. So to think how these younger girls are feeling. So yeah, so important to just know that, you back them.
I know coaches don't like mentioning players individually, but you're a co-player, so you can do it. Who are some of the younger girls that have stepped up over the last 12 to 24 months, in your opinion? That let's give them a bit of a plug, let's give them a bit of a confidence boost, if you like. But who are some of the ones that have really impressed you with their step up to senior football?
Yeah, of course. So in the last couple of years, we've got a really young squad. 8 people that have just turned, girls that have just turned 18 years old only last year. I'd say our right and left back is Taylor Pavlinovic, Maja Panic. They've stepped up a lot this year, and I do need to give them recognition because they've put in that extra work, whether it's at training, putting that extra effort in, or on their own. So they've done really, really well and stepped up a lot last season, I'd say, and obviously it's quite obvious as well this season. This year we've had Lila Vidakovic come into the team, and she's been fantastic. She's only in year 12 and she's doing really, really good. Very, very talented young players. I'd hope to see her, go and do bigger things and, move up in soccer. But to have her in our squad is great. And, you've got to give her a chance. She's obviously quite nervous as well, but she's doing really, really well.
Yeah, no, that's really good to see. Yeah, no, that's really good to see, and it's like I said, there's all these young players that are stepping up, and it's a massive thing for the club having a really good senior women's team, but also for the players themselves. Now, I guess with the appointment of Tommy Pondeliak last year, we're trying to certainly through DinamoTV give the girls a lot more exposure, a bit more publicity as well. So I guess that really kind of shows from the club's perspective how serious it is about senior women's and obviously the Game Changer program as well. The girls themselves, do they appreciate all the extra spotlight, all the attention, or they'd like to sort of go fly under the radar?
I think we're quite used to flying under the radar, so it's a bit like everyone's a little bit nervous and scared, but it's so good, and I know the girls really, really appreciate it. Like even having 4 coaches, I don't think anyone, not many teams in our league or at all have 4 coaches. So
wow,
and then we've got 4 experienced coaches is just amazing. Yeah.
And do the referees often have to come over to the sidelines and say, hang on a sec, only one of you can stand up, the rest of you have to sit there? Well, they're a little bit laid back in State 2 at the moment.
It's okay. There's always a lot going on the bench with the 4 coaches, the players, everyone's nervous, yelling, but it's good. It's really good.
Yeah. Now, look, moving ahead, all right, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but club officials, speaking to a lot of the club officials, especially John Billock, who's a let's call him the patron saint of the senior women's team for obvious reasons. He's got daughters that play as well. But look, the intention, the aim is to really take the women's game to another level, and part of that is obviously eventually getting promotion to State 1 and maybe VPLW with the view down the track, who knows, NPLW as well. To do that, obviously, things have to really become a lot more serious. We need to have a reserves team, and we have to really sort of focus the way we apply ourselves. Where are we with regards to that? Should we, let's hope we do get promoted next year to State 1, are we ready for that higher level of seriousness with our football?
Well, look, I personally, I don't know if I'm being biased, but I actually think our girls and the talent we have within our squad, we could be we're a State League 1 team.
Yep.
Obviously, the reserve situation, that all plays a big part into why we're not. But as well, we do want to achieve goals this year in State League 2, and we are really hopeful that we do, win the league.
Yep.
It'd be really good to say, you've won the league and that's why you moved up to State League 1. Obviously, this year, because of what we're aiming to achieve, we're working a lot with the under 16 girls who would eventually become that reserve squad, or honestly some are good enough to be in the senior squad. So we've had a lot of the girls, or a couple of them, come and train with us here and there. I'm sure they'll get an opportunity to be on the squad list for the senior game this year. So working closely with the 16s coach this year has been really, really positive.
Yeah, if we look at State 1, there's the North Geelong Warriors, our sister club. And in State 3 for this year, it's great to see the Melbourne Knights also making a comeback. So fingers crossed, either the Knights get promoted, we get promoted. Either way, there'll be some sort of a Croatian derby next year. Is that something you kind of miss in State 2 at the moment, just having that real kind of derby challenge, or are there particular clubs there, I don't know, maybe Sydenham Park, for example, that you really love coming up against? There's going to be a bit of a bigger crowd. There might be girls that you kind of know from work or school or this. Is there someone you kind of that friendly rivalry you just look forward to coming up against each year?
Yeah, well, look, like I said, this year's it's a little bit different. We've had top 2 contenders of State League 2 last year. We were one of them, the top 3.
Yep.
They've both moved on now to State League 1. So this year, I would say probably Sydenham Park's our little derby sort of game, because we don't really know any of the other teams.
Yeah.
In regards to having like the Croatian teams involved, we have the Croatian soccer tournament each year.
Yeah.
So that's good to play against those girls that you've grown up with all your life. So that's always fun.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because last year, obviously, it was held at our ground, and it was such an unbelievable occasion for everyone involved. But the crowds are fantastic, and obviously playing on your own pitch and all the infrastructure improvements and all that. How good was it? Did it bring the girls together even more than they already are? Was it something that was absolutely fantastic to finish off what was a pretty good season last year, and really to put the foundations in place for a very, very successful 2025?
Yeah, definitely. Look, that tourney was unbelievable. I think everybody always really gets excited to go into state for a tournament. So it's always disappointing when you've got to stay in Victoria, but that was probably one of the best tourneys there's been so far. And that's not just coming from us, that's coming from other people. So it was really, really good. Obviously, we would have liked to win the tournament at home, but what can you do? Geelong is a really, really good side, and we were expecting that. But in regards to our team, we haven't really got any new girls since then. We've all just sort of now built a really strong foundation that now we're moving into this season.
Oh, that's awesome. So good to hear that. At the moment, after 2 rounds, Dinamo finds itself in third position behind Brunswick City and Uni Hill Eagles, and a win against the Uni Hill Eagles this weekend, although they've got a very good goal difference, will go a long way to getting us further up the table, and that's exactly where we want to be. There are all the details for this Friday. We've got Dinamo taking on the Uni Hill Eagles, May the 9th, Churchill Reserve Pitch 2, and kickoff is at 8 p.m. Can't wait for that one. That should be a fantastic one. Jana, thank you. Well, actually, before we go, you're involved in other things as well. You're involved in coaching as well. Are you doing that this year with the is it the Marley Plavi or is it the Mini Roos that you're involved with?
So I'm involved in the under 8 girls, so the Mini Roos. Myself and Maya, my cousin, also a player for the senior women. So we started that last year, and we've decided to stay on this year. It's been really, really good, but we do have that Mini Tillies program coming to Dinamo, I think, next week or sometime in May.
Yep, May 15, I think it is,
Yeah, so we've had, the club reach out to us, and we've had more than half of the senior women who said that they're willing to be involved in that, which is really, really good. And, being involved in the club my whole life, playing Marley Plavi, to now know that there will be a program for just the girls is really, really exciting.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's really good. And I guess that's it's even more commendable when the senior players are getting involved in juniors. And look, something that I'm a firm believer, and I've seen it in the past when players do get involved in coaching, particularly younger players, it helps their game. Have you found coaching passing on that knowledge, and even doing maybe courses or just doing a little bit of study yourself. Has that helped you improve your own game?
Yeah, no, definitely. Of course, that's been like really impactful for myself and personal development, personal growth in
Yes.
soccer and outside of soccer. I absolutely love coaching the girls. It's so exciting, and you feel younger again. You feel like that was once me. So you try to give them as much wisdom as you can. But yeah, the girls have been really, really good, and they've been winning as well. So it's been really, really good.
Yeah. Well, exciting times ahead, that's for sure. The future's certainly looking bright, and with obviously the news of the elections, I guess now it's up to Labor, who did promise 3.5 million, and I think the Libs promised 1.5, but they didn't get in. So we want 3.5 million so that we can build female-friendly dressing rooms. Hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later, but that would be like the icing on the cake, won't it? Just having fantastic facilities on and off the pitch to match, and that's something that further adds to the excitement of our women's program at Dinamo.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, Jana. So on that note, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on Friday night and for the rest of the season. And once again, thank you so much for joining us on DinamoTV.
Thank you for having me. Thanks so much, and hope to see you all on Friday.
Will do. Absolutely. Good on you. Jana Cholina, the co-captain, along with Emily Gurgic of the senior women's team. Folks, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue with tonight's episode of DinamoTV. Don't go away.
Westar Prestige is a proud family-owned second-generation business servicing Victorian motorists for more than 50 years. We are a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne. However, we service all regions of Victoria, with many of our clients travelling not only from around Melbourne, but all of Victoria to use our services. We are also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend our premises. We are an authorised manufacturer approved repair facility for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of our ongoing affiliation with these brands. We also work closely with several of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust us to be a part of their preferred repairer network. Our client support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing, Australian-owned business.
And yes, that was Jana Cholina that was speaking to us, and a very, very important game coming up this Friday. Look, there are the details again. Let's try and get as many Dinamo supporters down to Churchill Reserve this Friday night. Kick-off 8 p.m, and it's on pitch 2. A big game against Uni Hills, and let's come out and support the girls as they try and take top spot from the top dogs at the moment. Now, this weekend, there's a lot happening, obviously, at the club with the Mother's Day banquet happening on tomorrow night, the women's game on Friday night. And this weekend also at the club, lots is happening as far as more further ground improvements. The area behind the eastern goal is being concreted. So that was early this week when it was being cleared. And as we can see, slowly that has been worked on. So this area is going to be concreted, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic once it's done. And there we go. So that will be happening this weekend in time for the first game on May the 18th. Our first game where we're going to be using pitch 1, returning to pitch 1. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Folks, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. It's been a pleasure being with you. Apologies for the little technical glitches we had earlier in the show. But allow me, on behalf of everyone at Dinamo, to thank all of our female footballers, our coaches, volunteers, players, mums, supporters, everyone involved at the club. And hopefully you have a lovely Mother's Day for the mums that have got celebrating it. For the kids, do spoil your mums, that's for sure. And if they're involved in soccer on the weekend, make sure that you win for them. Okay. On that note, we're going to finish tonight's show with a little tribute, a fitting tribute to all of our female footballers at the club as we endeavour to really grow our female element, and that it's exploding as we speak, but it's going to explode even more in years to come. Here's a little tribute as part of Female Football Week to all of our female footballers. Good night. Bye-bye.
Knock, knock! Who's there? Owen! Owen who? Owen the Saints! Go marching in! Owen the Saints go marching in! Oh, how I love to be in St. Albans! Owen the Saints go marching in! Owen the Saints! Owen the Saints! Go marching in! Go marching in! Owen the